stars over this old park. Burnt marshmallow on a crooked stick. You drop a comment, I'll read it quick. Switchback, sweat, and summit haze. Drone shots catching all those rays. Feels like we're together, y'all, out here on Woodall Trails. Like and subscribe to Woodall Trails. Hit that bell so you don't miss the tales. From a mountaintop view to the late night flame, for chasing that wild by calling your name. So like and subscribe to Woodall Trails.
Good afternoon, adventurers. Just a quick mic check. Can everybody hear me? Thanks, everybody. So, happy Thursday, adventurers. It's another week, episode 35 of Adventure Closet Talk. It's been great, guys. Been doing this for almost 6 months now. I didn't think I would ever get this to doing it this far. It is a great episode. We're going to continue with the theme of this week and have it start with that and lead into some other discussions. But I have a fellow adventurer, fellow lover of nature. I mean, we're so much alike. He could probably be my older brother. I mean, we got a lot in common, and I like how he thinks. So I wanted to get him on here again. We've had him on the show a long time ago when it wasn't really a show back then. It was just me doing some stupid crap. But anyways, further ado, let's bring him on here and let him introduce himself and tell him a little about himself, where you can find him, which a lot of you all know where you can find him. But let's let him talk about himself a little bit and go from there.
Whoa, I got to get centered. Hey, everybody. What's up, Woodall?
What's going on, Mr. Tim?
I'm doing well, buddy. So introduce myself, I guess. I'm Tim Buckley. I work at Hilltop Packs, and I have a little YouTube channel called Backpacking with Buckley. But I want to just double back to some of your introductory comments, although complimentary, Jonathan. I'm your older brother. Well, like, why do you think that? Do you think that's assumed?
I mean, you're definitely probably you got a little more gray and white hair going on than me.
I'm pretty sure you probably. I'm actually 23.
Let's say you probably got kids that are closer to my age.
Yeah. How old are you again?
I'll be 36 this year.
Oh yeah, you're somewhere in the middle. My oldest is 22. But yeah, my second question was, you've been at this 35 episodes, huh, brother? That's dedication.
Yeah, nice man. Work. Keep getting better each episode. Try to, at least.
Well, that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
I have a PETA gallery here, a couple of guests for our gathering, and I got somebody across the way saying he can't get in. But there's other people in here, so I'm going to say it's probably my friend's fault. So keep trying, bud.
All right.
So So yeah,
Ben said he has underwear your age. So
actually, that's funny that he said that because I pulled out a pair of skivvies the other day out of the laundry and realized that it's probably time for the garbage can with all the holes in it, and I was like doubling back to when I bought them, and I would venture to guess that it was like 10 or 12 years ago, and I'm not kidding. I mean, they were like merino wool, so I've held on to them because they're probably $40 underpants, you know. But they went.
Mine are starting to show a little wear. I know what you mean.
Yeah. So yeah, I forgot. I just remembered my other question is, why do you have me on when you have a mental health podcast? Like, you just want to tell everybody what a lunatic I am, or?
No, man. Like I said, we've talked about this before, actually several times, I think. And we'll get there. So actually, we can go right there. I wanted to know first, man. I want to know, man, backpacking. What got you into it? Like, why? Like, kind of like origin story here.
Sure, man. I'll try to keep it brief. So I grew up in the outdoors, you know, hunting, fishing, you know, Minnesota, Land of Lakes. We did, you know, some hiking and things. I always, you know, was the kid that like camped in his backyard and Coleman tents and going down, like, we had a really nice city park with a campground, did that my whole life. But fast forward through a lot of like alcoholism and divorces and broken relationships and such. I don't say that for pity. It's part of my journey. I'm sitting around right around COVID. So shit, I was in my early 40s probably. And I'll fast forward this to out of nowhere. My sister sends me this YouTube video, and you've probably heard of Adventure Archives.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple, like 4 vanilla kids that you let your daughter date. I don't even know where they're from, but high production value, just crazy. They send me a video. She sent me a video of them like doing pictured rocks or something like that. And I remember like almost being sad because I saw all this gear and I was like, how is it that I lived my entire life and never heard of this hobby? You know, I literally never had. I've heard the term backpacking, but I always pictured like European dudes with scarves on, like traveling through Europe. You know, I didn't even know what an Osprey pack was or any of that stuff. And I'd been to REIs and I assumably just never went through those sections, you know. I grew up in Southwest Minnesota where it's not exactly backpacking culture. Long story short, I saw that video and I was hooked, and it was just immaculate timing right around the time. I think we got those like, you know, $1,200 checks or whatever. And man, the rest is history. I mean, I spent every cent of that damn money on backpacking gear, most of which was, you know, poor choices, especially if you look at Adventure Archives. They were using like heavy ass Kelty tents and like the old Catadine pump water filters and stuff. So I kind of ordered based on what they did. And then, like, you know, bud, you just enter the rabbit hole and you learn so much from other YouTubers. And I mean, yeah, I have YouTube to thank for damn near everything I learned, other than the school of hard knocks, you know, learning it yourself by screwing up in the backcountry. But yeah, and I have been, I mean, I'm not trying to make my story more exciting, but I hit the ground running from there, and I've like based my life around backpacking since that day. Like, no, I'm obsessive, you know, so I dive into things deep, but this is the only thing in my life, hobby wise, that, you know,
I think we call that ADHD.
Yeah, it's certainly. Well, I always say, to be fair to those that are diagnosed with it, I'm self-diagnosed, but I have enough social work history to know for a fact I'm probably right.
Oh,
and we all manifest that.
I have enough therapy and everything else to know that I am too. So,
right, I know you well enough to give an amateur diagnosis as well. So yeah, I mean, I dove all in, and you know, you've probably been through this too, man. Where maybe I golfed, for example, or I've done you know, different art things. Like I like to paint, and I still like that kind of stuff, but not so much golf. But I would dive in. I'd buy everything I needed. But backpacking, I mean, I probably go 2 or 3 weekends a month for the last, you know, 6 years. So yeah, it's not wearing off. So that's a good sign to a personality like mine that it's going to be a hobby that's not going to be anything I quit doing until my body doesn't allow me to. And then I'll probably get those bionic legs at that point.
You can just get you a little hover around, man.
Yeah, shit. A decade from now, we'll probably be like you've seen the movie WALL-E, where they're just all obese, but they're just floating around on those like hoverboards. Yeah.
Yep.
We'll be hiking that way by the time we're 70, or in your case, 50.
Yeah. That means I'll still be in shape like you.
Yeah, in shape. You're full of crap, dude. I'm in the worst shape I've been in the last 5 years, probably. I had a really calorie-filled winter. We'll put it that way.
I know how you feel, man. I put on probably at least 10 pounds this winter. I've got to get back into it. I actually went out during lunch today and got about 4 miles in. I'm going to try to start doing that. If it's a cool night and pretty night, I might go out and take Ray out and just do another walk.
Right.
Just only get maybe in the 60s. So it was beautiful earlier today. So
yeah, I mean, it doesn't require like Caleb level weightlifting or anything. I truly believe you just get back into walking and stuff's going to melt away. And obviously making a couple of life changes. I've made some monumental changes. I have only one sugar-filled monster maybe every couple of days, but then I have sugar-free monsters instead. So clearly, it's just going to melt off.
Sound kind of like my boss there.
Yeah,
he's the monster. I'm the coffee guy. I gotta have my coffee, man.
I love coffee, and I need to get back into it. But I think it's just kind of part of who I am. Where my whole life I've always just been in a damn hurry for no reason, And I think that like crosses paths into every aspect of my life. I wake up in the morning, I want something that I can just crack and go. And I really crave, for whatever reason, probably from years of habit, like a carbonated beverage in the morning that's cold. I don't know why. But I love coffee, but part of the reason I don't drink it very often is because it takes at least 3 minutes. I remember, I'll tell this story just because it's kind of funny. I don't want to like steal the spotlight. You got to get back to like the fun part of the show. But I truly remember when I was a kid, even when I would like go take a dump, I would like want to go as fast as I could. Like I felt like it was like a waste of time. And I'm getting better. I realized like, why are you in a hurry, Tim? Like why are you always in a hurry? What are you in a hurry to do?
I've always been a fast eater, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I didn't have a hard time when I went in the Army at all. Like I was always the first one done eating. It was no problem there whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've always been one of the first ones up too. I'm not a person who sleeps in. I like to be up. I don't get on trail early. Don't get me wrong there. But I'll get up early because I want to sit around a fire and have a couple cups of coffee and have a little bit of a breakfast, then break down.
Well, aside from our brotherhood, that's one of my favorite parts about you. You bring the good food, and you are not a shy man when it comes to being the hero of making a fire in the morning. Because I'm the opposite. I don't sleep in super late, but I'm definitely not the first one up. I'm the guy that set my alarm so I'm not rude to other people in camp.
Yeah, that's why I always feel so bad in the morning, especially when Jeremiah, because I don't know what it is. He wants to sit up right by the fire, and I'm like, man, I'm going to get up right towards daylight. Usually by 7, I'm up on trail.
Yeah,
I'm going to be breaking sticks and everything else. I'm like, he must not care too bad.
Yeah. Well, like
or he sits there and he's rolling his eyes at me and like, oh God, again.
Yeah, Jeremiah, God bless his soul. Last trip, he woke up because we left early, remember? And he comes out and I'm like, what are you doing up? And he's like, well, you guys are out here talking. I'm like, you were the closest man to the fire pit. Like, you should know strategically that if you want to sleep in, you don't park yourself 30 feet from the fire pit at night, you dork. So, yeah, Jeremiah tortures himself.
Yeah. Joey says he's the first one up. Yeah, I'm usually one of the first ones up, and then decide to go down and get stuff for breakfast and end up hiking an extra 6 miles.
Yeah. Was that the gorge meetup?
Man. Oh yeah, that was the gorge meetup. When I added miles, I didn't really need to add miles for, but
you're just following your nose, just not even paying attention to the direction, just hiking through, bushwhacking through the woods.
Yeah, well, I knew the turn that I missed, and I was like, yeah, I think I keep going this way. No, it took me the wrong way. And I was like, well, I'm keep going this way. Then I just looked at the map. I'm like, I can go straight over the hill right here, and I'll be right at my car.
Yeah. Yeah, you told me about your journey at the meetup, but I didn't really understand what you meant until I watched your video. I'm like, damn, he just like said, screw the trail and just went off in a direction. Even when you came to the road, you weren't sure where you were right?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I'm saying. I didn't have my phone or nothing. I knew that I was close, and if I walked down the hill, I'd get to the Red River. And right there's the road. So just follow the road. I'd find my car.
True. Yeah.
I mean, well, I'm that type, man. But I mean, I'm from here, and I've been to the gorge a lot in the last 3 to 4 years. It's one of them spots that there or Big South Fork usually, or somewhere here close to home. I've been hitting a lot. That's cool, Jerry. Yeah, I was never the one that had an issue eating in the Army, man. I definitely was one of the first ones done, which I'm not going to lie. I was also one of the bigger guys. So I was only allowed to eat half my meat and double the vegetables and no carbs the entire time of basic training. I went to basic like 225 and left laying like 196 pounds.
Really?
Yeah. Then I got into AIT and got down to 185, and that's about the smallest I ever was. And I looked like I was on crack.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's genetics, right? I mean, I think when I was growing up, I always wanted to be bigger because I played football and stuff like that. But I graduated high school at like, man, probably 160 pounds soaking wet. And then, I went through, like I said, a solid little bartending / party boy phase where I look back at I'm divorced a long time, but I looked at my wedding pictures. I looked like Skeletor, like a man who hadn't eaten in like a year. And now I'm just, portly old man. So I don't really care so much what I look like, but I do care what I feel like. So it's really motivating to like go on one of those trips where you're like, can I swear here? Are you there? Woodall?
Yeah.
Check.
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. Can you see me?
Yeah. I'm here. Did you hear me ask if I can swear on the podcast or?
Man, I'm not going to limit you from doing anything. I swear. So it is what, I mean, if they don't want their kids to watch it, they don't have to have their kids to watch it.
Well, I'll keep it PG-13, but I just want to make sure if I slip, because I lost my train of thought where we were at with that, but I was about to say son of a bitch. I do remember that part.
But Ben says no swearing at Hilltop, so.
Yeah, disregard that, man. He's not. I don't think he's quite as vulgar as I am. No, he is. He absolutely is.
I'm gonna say, you two work together, and you're buddies with Rich. So I already know. I mean, actually, every one of us, you already know what the name of the group chat is.
Yeah.
Nothing but a bunch of degenerates.
Yep, well, that's pretty close to the truth. Pretty accurate. It's nice to work in an environment where you can use profanity openly. I mean, we try to mind our P's and Q's with some level of professionalism when people come in for visits and things, or there's kids around. But yeah,
you gotta have fun with it, man. You gotta make it an enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
You gotta want to come to work, I guess you would say.
Yeah. I always say if I ever have a job that I love that much, you should just shoot me in the head and bury me in the woods. But I really do care a lot about this job, and I don't know as much. I don't think I do like coming to work most of the time. At least I don't dread it. Let's put it that way. You know what I mean? No B-roll, Buckley.
Yeah, Mr. Mickey is getting us. He's like hour 2 of the wood. I'm like, man, he's killing me. We have Mr. Dave. He says the swear jar is full. So
yeah, he's a good man too.
But me, man, I swear in my videos. You know what? I'm all about the freedom of say whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, way to back it off to hell, buddy. Good job. You're showing discipline already. I'm proud of you.
I kind of had to learn a little bit at work. It's hard to have that, man. So I heard you talk a little bit about it there, going a little bit personal and talking about stuff. And we've been personal. I've told you about stuff that's happened to me and stuff, especially over the last year, 2 years, 3 years, that got me into hiking. And you kind of talked a little bit about it like right there. But theme of the show, trail therapy. So man, if you want to talk about it, you can. But if you don't, you don't have to.
Oh, absolutely, man. I'm an open book. You know, I'm not there yet, but I think that like a true experience of being a human is to learn to like put your regrets behind, or actually ideally just eliminate the regret and realize that was part of your life, but yeah, I don't know. In high school, I struggled with some depression, and my dad was kind of quick to throw me into therapy and stuff like that, which I never really teach their own. I know it's helpful to some people, and I think therapists are great. I was diagnosed with depression and put on meds and all that kind of good stuff. I kind of rebelled against that the moment I went through what I call like my Kurt Cobain stage of go off to college and go from like jock preppy boy.
Now you're showing your age there.
Yeah, right. I remember the first time I saw the Smells Like Teen Spirit on MTV. You ever heard of that channel, youngster?
Hey, I'm not that young.
Yeah, I know you.
I know the Goonies. I did grow up in a great age, man. I'm
Yeah,
just a little bit young. That's why I say older brother.
right. Well, and you
Actually,
are.
I think
We've
you're
talked.
probably about the same age as my brother-in-law, so that's probably why we get along pretty well.
Well, I'm 40. I'm 49, so
Yeah, so you're
it's
not
my
that
last
old.
year in my 40s. No, I
Oh
still.
man,
I mean,
I can just see the
intellectually,
birthday
I'm
cake now
12.
that Ben's gonna get you.
Well, hopefully, I'll be on trail on my birthday. That's my 50th. I got to do something epic, but I
Oh
don't know where
man,
around it. But yeah, so I mean, it was real, and I think I always identified it as a kid. Like I always described it as like I didn't really know why I wasn't ever like super excited about anything, or well, it wasn't like I was like this little emo kid just pouting around. You know, I was athlete and I love sports and I had a really typical, relatively privileged upbringing, but I just always knew that it was like some days it was hard to get out of bed. Sometimes I didn't really give a shit about anything, you know, and
hmm
it would always annoy the hell out of me because I never knew why, you know. So long story short, yeah, I go into college. I rebelled against all the meds and stuff because just from, you know, I had friends and family that meds were very great for. And I am going to get to the point on why I'm telling this story, but so yeah, I rebelled against that, and then you know, life just passes you by. I turned 21. I dropped out of college, working at a sporting goods store in retail, and then I got this part-time job bartending at the place next door, and I was pulling in more cash in 2 nights there than I was the whole week selling sneakers at the sporting goods store. So I landed in a bartending gig. I ended up that's probably the longest job I've ever had. Actually, it was like 9 years at the same bar. Just working, 4 nights a week till 2 in the morning. And that resulted in, just kind of becoming part of that culture. And as many of us do that struggle with some of these afflictions, I chemically enhanced my life. I did a hell of a lot of boozing. And I'm sure we'll touch on cannabis at some point in time. And that I think is the exception to the rule in terms of being medicinal. But if I was ever here to preach anything about where we go with chemical dependency in this country, especially, well, many countries that are developed, is we turn to what I think is the worst drug on earth, and that's alcohol. So yeah, I got super into the party scene. I I kind of had to mature a little bit. I was like 26 when my daughter was born, but I still remained a bartender because I'm so happy I spent a lot of her early childhood with her because I didn't go to work till 6 o'clock at night. So I cherish those days. But when I was at work, the culture back then was you can drink on the job, you can be a part of the party. So yeah, that turned into a hell of a little. That was my medication for 10 or 12 years, and to this day, it's still something that I consider something I turn to sometimes, to celebrate and just be a normal human being. But other times I turn to it because I'm bored or just I want to feel something. And I'm not saying I'm not a sad sap. I'm a really happy guy, and I think I've overcome a lot of things. But to kind of tie this whole little rambling into a bow, I think nature is what like reintroduced me to like real, genuine joy and happiness. And I think I discovered that probably my second backpacking trip. Where you go out and you bring a little baggie of nature's medicine and some mediocre food, and you bring your entire housing and shelter on your back, and you go live in the woods for a few days. And it's like it was like, man, why did I spend my whole 20s and a lot of my 30s, just sitting in a dank ass bar, making questionable decisions when I could have been out here, smoking doobies and yeah, enjoying the hell out of life, just sitting around a campfire and staring at that, or sitting at a overlook and staring out into nothingness. And as well as I do, because you and I have had these conversations, that you don't have conversations in a bar, in a car, on a golf cart, or any of those things like you do like around a campfire. It's just it's a special place to be. And the guys that are sitting around in Hilltop right now, I mean, we were talking about it earlier, where it's just like that's where it really matters. Ben and I have had like some profoundly deep talks. You might be talking about immature bullshit too, that you talk like being like 12-year-olds, but you don't feel like embarrassed to just act childish. You don't feel embarrassed to talk about feelings. Politics has divided this country big time, and I know for a fact that like when we were in Beaver Creek, there was probably all sides of the political spectrum
Mhm.
Do you remember it coming up? You know, other than maybe
Not one bit.
no, it
That's
doesn't
what I love,
matter.
man. That's what I love about trail. I mean, like you said, there's so many sides of the coin out there, but we're all there just for one purpose, and that's just to get release.
Yeah, yeah. And whether it's a solo trip, I find those really therapeutic.
Hmm.
Builds my self-esteem. You know, it really does a lot for me. But group trips or even just with a close friend, those types of things, like you have conversations out there that you wouldn't have with that very same person. Ben and I mean, we talk deep. I mean, we're good buddies, but even here at work, we don't get serious real often. And if you light up a fire, there's just something about that where, next thing you know, Ben and I are talking about, like, why are we here? What's the meaning of all of this? Like, what? Like, and it just gets super. And then, yeah, you talk about things that you open up, you become yourself, like your true self. And yeah, I don't think that'd be possible without being out there.
Yeah, man. Like you said, very similar story with you. I had a very similar, not exactly the same, but growing up, outdoors all the time, enjoyed it, loved it. Very similar to you. But I went to different spectrum there, and I joined the Army.
Yeah.
I decided that I could go to college. I knew I could, but I knew that I would just squander it away because I was way too, like you said, immature. So
Yeah.
I went to the Army and went that route, while my wife, she went to college and did the Army thing for 6 years, and then got out from there. And then that's when I started having a little bit of issues. Then not as bad, and then had several things happen over the course of 5-6 years. Like, I'd gotten out, gained all kinds of weight. I mean, I'd gotten over 400 pounds. At my heaviest, I was about 419, 20 pounds, something like that.
Yeah.
But
and then you've had some. Well, keep going. Yeah, I should. It's bad to say. I don't want to spoil the surprise, but I kind of know the story. You keep going, and then I'll chime in after that.
And then lost a job, got sent home right around COVID, and not long after that, my brother. I had a twin brother, and he like all of us, we have stresses in our lives, very similar. Finding something to cope with. His thing was pills. He very much enjoyed pills. He smoked weed. He enjoyed weed too, but pills is what he enjoyed. And it was Xanaxes, and
yeah,
you know exactly what that leads to.
Absolutely, man.
So
yeah, right there. Go ahead.
Sorry. But yeah, that right there, that kind of led me down to a pretty dark path and very angry path for a few years.
Well, and how, utterly understandable that is. And I mean, the silver lining, man, amongst all that grief and loss. Well, for one, I'll share with you this, and I don't know if I've ever told you this, but the podcast we had where you kind of told us this story, it got real deep. You remember that?
Yeah.
And Ben and I still say to this day, it's like, that's a lot of trauma, a lot of grief, a lot of stuff, but we were touched by it, by the way you talked about it, by the way you opened up, and just like, because that's part of the reason I'm an open book, because I know there's somebody out there listening that can relate or maybe knows somebody that's gone through some of these kinds of things. And you and I have different paths. I mean, I've been really blessed with very little grief in my life, and I know that'll come someday. Someday somebody's going to leave my life that's going to really hurt. So it's hard for me to relate to you directly to that situation, but it also makes me feel like so much closer to you, just knowing that you struggled through that. And here we are today. All of these are crazy paths. And I don't know, can I tell a quick story that is like one of the biggest philosophies in my life?
Go ahead, man. That's what we're here for. I want to. This whole show's about getting to know you better. We know each other pretty well, but I don't know the full Tim Buckley. I know that.
Well, this is not my story. I don't know if it's like some Chinese like tale or what it is, but long story short, I'll try to keep it as brief as quick as possible. But I heard this as told by none other than the great Bill Murray, right? And every time I heard it, the first time I heard it, I'm not kidding you, man. This simple story changed my life. And the story is called "Who Knows What's Good or Bad." And I'm one of those guys. I always call myself Even Steven, just to kind of preface this story. Like some crazy bad stuff will happen to me, and it took me, well into adulthood to realize, like, man, if that wouldn't have happened, this wouldn't have happened, right? So that's how the story goes, and it's old school, so it's you can relate to it, but make this more modern. But the story goes, there's this farmer, and he has a like this prize stallion, back when like a horse was something of value, like much akin to, like, say you have a Porsche right now or a Lamborghini. So he has this prize stallion, and he has this kind of nosy neighbor who would always just kind of pop in and just put his 2 cents in, like it was usually envy based. So the neighbor comes over, and he's like, "Man, look at that stallion. You must be the luckiest man alive." And this will be a reoccurring theme, but I'll tell it as it's supposed to be told. The farmer would just looked at him and said, "Well, yeah, it's wonderful. I love this horse, but who knows what's good or bad." The next day comes by, and the neighbor comes walking over as he always does, and he notices the horse is gone. And he asks, "So what happened to your horse?" And the farmer says, "Well, he ran away." He's like, "Oh my God, that must suck so bad for you." He's like, "What are you going to do now that you don't have your prized possession?" And the farmer repeats himself, "Who knows what's good or bad?" Next day comes along, same pattern. The neighbor comes back, and in this, the pen for the horses, whatever you call it, is the stallion and 5 more stallions there. So the guy's like, "Oh my God, your luck has turned. Now you have this prize stallion and 5 more stallions to show off how awesome you are." And the farmer just says the same thing. He's like, "Who knows what's good or bad?" Following day comes along, the oldest son of the stallion owner, goes out and tries to break, these new stallions that came into the pen. They're wild, so he's trying to break them so they can ride them like any other horse. And one of them bucks him off the horse, and he breaks his leg. Neighbor comes over, and he's like, "Your son broke his leg. What terrible luck you have." And the same story repeats itself. Well, who knows what's good or bad? Well, the story ends by the following day. The son and his dad are sitting out at the farm, and his son's got a cast on, and he's sitting there, can't walk or anything like that. Well, the army comes by, and they're like, "We're here to take your firstborn son into war." And then they look at him, and he's got a broken leg, so he can't go. And the farmer's like, "Well, who knows what's good or bad?" And I know it's a really simple proverb or story or whatever it may be, but it's just like one of those, if this shitty thing didn't happen, this great thing wouldn't have happened, and if this great thing wouldn't have happened, then that shitty thing, like, you can just go through that revolving door of always like pitying yourself or thinking like, why me? Why did this all happen? And I think you and I are both a testament to that. I see Jason is in here too, Wild Millennial. We've had some real deep talks, and I think our lives are not absent of adversity. We've had a lot of shit happen. And some people might look at us with pity and be like, "Man, that poor soul." But I will promise you something, that the older I get, the more that I know the best people in the world are those people, especially the people that overcome it and understand life a little bit better and why we do this thing called living. Because I've met some vanilla people who, yeah, they might be lucky. They never had any tough times. Maybe they're silver spooners. Maybe they just never had anything shitty happen to them in their lives. And obviously I can't hate them for that. You can't control that you just had a nice life. But they're some of the most boring, superficial, drab people you will ever meet. Like, they don't really have a lot to offer in terms of like wisdom and knowledge. And yeah, so I'm not bragging about myself, but I'm pretty freaking awesome. And but no, for real, like, I connected with you really quickly. I connected with Wild Millennial really quickly. Rich, Mickey, I mean, we've had talks, and none of these guys, the people that I'm looking at right now, I don't know Jared very well, but I can tell just by the tone of people's voice sometimes that, like, this guy wasn't raised with the easiest life, and I don't know anything about Jared, but I know Daniel across the way from me really well. And yeah, I think those are going to be the people that have the most fulfilling lives, because I think he said, Jason said, have to rain to appreciate sunshine. And it's
that hits that simple. That hits the nail on the head right there. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't know what like being overjoyed feels like if you're always overjoyed, and that can, unfortunately that can go the other direction. You can just spiral into like your brother, for example. I'm sure his whole life he had the best intentions, but addiction and different habits and different things.
Stress, anxiety. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's just some things. I mean, unfortunately, I've come to the, like you said, I've discovered later in life, people's brains are wired differently, and how we process things differently, and we have to do things differently than some other people have to do them.
Yeah. And I think, unfortunately, it requires a little bit of luck. It might be something as simple as where you're born. It might be something as simple as, how you handled the worst of times. But we're all vulnerable to, it's a snowball thing. If you put good out into the world, chances are, you're going to live the who knows what's good or bad story. But if you're always just that guy who's like, why is this happening to me? Then you're vulnerable to, falling into the life of addiction. Or it could just be somebody like me who's always been an experimenter in life. And I tell people all the time, I mean, like, honestly, I'm just lucky, like the drugs I have done, they were always pretty mild. If I would have been in the right place at the right time, I absolutely would have smoked a lot of meth. If I'd been in the right place at the right time, I absolutely would have done opioids or, barbiturates or any of these things, So what else can you call that other than luck?
And
luck.
I can say, that's what I can say, man, is if I wouldn't have went, like I said, I chose the different route. I chose the military.
Yeah.
I don't think if I did that, I would have probably been down somewhat of the same path as my brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just something, you there?
Yeah, you froze up for a second. Did I freeze too?
Oh, you just froze now.
That's me on purpose.
No, I know.
I have a good freeze face.
We had Mike say there, he says, they say a knight in shining armor has never had his armor tested in battle. That's a good one right there.
That's a good one too. Mickey's got a good one too. The Isle of Misfits. Yeah.
Daniel says he's impressed with you doing podcast minus the pants.
Minus the pants? Who says I'm wearing pants?
I think it's what he means by it.
Oh yeah, I'm not wearing pants right now. I have the same underwear that I told you I threw away. That was a lie. I'm just wearing those.
You're wearing the crotchless underwear?
Yeah, I mean,
they're all over there just getting a show and a half then.
Yeah, there's a hole down there. There's a hole down there in the nether regions, and it kind of looks like there's a stick or like a piece of chewed up bubble gum hanging out of it. But it's my testicle.
Okay, man. Okay, let's shift here. Let's talk trips,
right,
man.
Right.
What's your most memorable trip since you've been in the backpacking scene, since you started backpacking? What's your most memorable and why?
Oh man, that's impossible. That's impossible.
I know you've got one. Why it's the most memorable? Could be good or bad, but you're always going to remember that trip. Do you want me to help you here?
In recent memory, probably the Gorge Christmas thing, right? Because by all like outsider perspective, it probably looks like the most miserable damn time. It pretty much just poured rain on us forever. But man, yeah, it's memorable in a positive way for me because man, we just all huddled under those tarps and shot the shit and struggled to keep a fire going. And yeah, that's very memorable. But what were you alluding to? What did you think I was going to say? Ben puking all night. Yeah.
So you probably got a ton. But you're kind of like me. Every trip's memorable, man. And that's the reason I do the videos. I mean, they're memories that unfortunately, I don't want to forget when I get older. I want to be able to go back and relive it. And that's the whole reason of why I started doing it was I wanted to relive these trips and I wanted to show people like why I love doing them. And this is why I love doing them.
Yeah, and if you're lucky enough, like you and I are, you do enough trips where you almost have to go back to your videos to remember the trip. Because it's I don't know what I'm at. I don't do a video count or anything. Probably almost 300, but yeah, they're all memorable. But yeah, the night with Ben, that might have been one because I just have this. I'm not trying to be self-righteous, but I feel like the pain of others somewhat, like the empathy, like it's to a fault sometimes. Where if somebody else is sick, I just I feel so horribly for him. And I'm not saying I don't want Ben to think I had a bad time. We still found a way to have a good time, even though he was, projectile vomiting halfway through the night. But he went to bed and I had Crow there and we made the best of it. But I think Crow and I both share that we're fairly kind human beings. And I think we spent a hell of a lot of time. I don't remember the rain. Yeah, whatever, Mickey. Yeah, I think I spent a hell of a lot of time just worrying about Ben. Like, is this worse than just like food poisoning, or is this something serious? What should we be doing here? Should we be hiking out? He couldn't even like walk that night, so it was gnarly. So that wasn't so great. But I've been really lucky. Almost all my trips, I have some great memory of it. But sometimes I do have to go back and watch the video to remember what the hell happened.
Yeah, I think. Well, like you said, my most recent one would probably be the trip with my wife. The most recent one would be the best one, only because it was probably the best trip we've had together. Even though I wish she would have. Like I told her when we got down to the water, I was like, "Why don't we just stay here for the night?" I mean, it's a campsite right there. I was like, "Why don't we just stay here?" I mean,
yeah,
it's another 2 miles up the hill. She's like, "No, I want to get up there." And I was like, oh, "God, okay."
I
didn't really want to, and it ended up being. But it made it a memory. I mean, she's gonna remember. I mean, it's like every trip something happens with me and her that's like makes the memory of the trip. Like the trip was awesome, the view, like everything about the trip was great. It's just that one moment when when things turned.
Yeah, absolutely. I watched the video too, and I feel that that's exactly how it happens. There's always at least one moment you're like, why in the hell did I do this? But it's also nice to have that friend or wife in your case who makes a decision. Yeah, let's get this out of the way, because the next morning you'll never regret the fact that you climbed that hill before the morning. Because if things weren't necessarily going the right direction in the first place, that might have been a sucky climb.
Didn't help either that she wore the wrong socks. Which I just got her some new socks too, but she wore the wrong ones and got blisters on both of her feet. She's not a complainer though, man. She's like my daughter. They don't complain, and they're not going to let you know that they're not having a good time.
Yeah, or
she very much enjoys that type 2 fun. I don't know.
Well, whatever it is, be grateful for it. I'm blessed that way too. My girlfriend, she's not into winter, but and she's also extraordinarily introverted, so she doesn't like going in groups quite yet. I keep trying to like kindly try to talk her into it, but I know how she,
Start with the hangs, man. Start with the hangs. That's what you got to do.
I don't know. That might overwhelm the hell out of her. It would have to be somebody she's not comfortable with anybody. Sometimes I think I'm the only one other than her family that knows her really well. But the point of the story is I love the fact that she loves to go out, and she'll get down into anything, and she'll be the person telling me, yeah, let's go another 2 miles, and I need somebody like that in my life. But yeah, hopefully get to the point where we make her comfortable to realize that she's still kind of in that phase of like, I don't want to pee around people. And I don't understand this, but she doesn't want to be seen without makeup on.
My wife's a country girl, and she, like, I ain't gonna lie, she pops a squat, and I'm like, the trail's like right there.
Yeah, I've seen my girlfriend piss in an alley in Las Vegas. I've seen her stop right on the trail and like just pee, but it's more about the social thing. It's just she and I. Okay. Like she has no qualms about like. I don't know. I've never asked. I don't think she's actually taking a dump.
Tell her she just has to sit there and look at all the dumb stuff that we do. That's all she has to do, and then think in her head, "Man, what an idiot."
Yeah, I try with her, but I don't push her either because, again, I know I spend a lot of time kind of trying to push back. Like, I want to make you me. I want to make you like me. I want to have you come out and make all these friends. And sometimes you just got to realize that you're not always right, and she needs to take all the time she needs in the world to be comfortable around people, so be it. As long as she's not like preventing me from going out on these social occasions, and she certainly never does that. So I'm cool with that.
Opposites attract, Mr. Jason Bloom. He says opposites attract.
Jason Bloom, my favorite guy and my biggest tassel supporter from the first Hilltop meeting. He's going to be at Maha too, I hope. I haven't seen him since November.
I haven't actually. I don't think I've never got to meet Jason.
Dude,
wasn't at the last cool. 2 Mahals, so I haven't got to meet him yet.
Just absolutely chill.
We've talked like on Facebook and stuff, but that's about it. Okay, man.
Yeah.
Got another trip question for you.
Go for it.
Your hardest trip. Why was it your hardest trip?
I don't know. Honestly, probably my first trip. And physically hard. That sounded wrong.
It could be physically hard, mentally. I mean, anything, man.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I think physically and mentally hard. It might have been my first trip because I bit off more than I could chew. I brought the person I was dating at the time and my daughter. I had, an 85-liter REI pack,
Oh,
and
good
I wanted to
Lord.
do this summit in South Dakota. It's the highest peak. It's called Black Elk Peak. It's beautiful. But it's like one of those, you go the first half of the hike is straight up, and then obviously once you get that over with, you go straight down. And yeah, we were like absolutely gassed to the point where I didn't know if I could go on any further. I knew my daughter was hurting. So we never made the summit. We got real close, and then we ended up not knowing, where to camp up there. In South Dakota, there's not a lot of backpackers, so it's just straight dispersed camping. Find a flat spot and go. So we ended up in like this like land of deadfall trees. Not quite as bad as Beaver Creek, but and then we had this gnarly thunderstorm roll through, and my daughter's rocking like the Ozark Trail tent from Walmart, leaking like crazy. We had uninsulated, tiny little 20-inch pads, and yeah, it was pretty miserable. And again, I was really empathetic because I knew my daughter was not having a great time. She did come back for more. And I think she hasn't. When she gets older, she'll come back to it. Right now, she's kind of in that early 20s phase. She doesn't party like her dad, but she's not super into nature.
It's not cool to hang out with dad anymore.
Oh no, she's just too far away. I mean, man, she is the apple of my eye. Both my kids, like we're super close for being so far away. I just think that she's not so much into backpacking at this moment in time. But just like me, I know she's gonna look back at that because she went on 6 or 8 trips with me, and after that first one, it was so much easier. She even did a winter trip with me in the Badlands. I carried a Mr. Buddy out, and we didn't hike all that far. But
so
yeah,
I'm guessing you've heard about that. The Jason and Josh, their first trip with us in West Virginia.
Was that when we went to the plane crash?
Yeah, we went to the plane crash, and they each had packs that were about probably. Well, Josh, he had 6 liters of water on him, plus his food and everything. His carrying, I think, an 80 or 90-liter pack.
My God.
Yeah, they learned after that trip real quick. They got it. They had to get some different gear.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really know your physical limitations until, and maybe it's arrogance, but I never really had my body just give out on me. It happened one other hike, ironically enough, in the Black Hills in South Dakota too, where I was with Metro and Crow, and my calf seized up like for miles and miles and miles. I just could not get it stretched out. It was like a 2x4. I just couldn't get it, and I had to bail and go to this parking lot and wait for them to finish the hike. It was a matter of a couple hours. We were close to the end, but I couldn't keep going uphill. I just couldn't walk, and I was slowing everybody down. And it's like, man, it's really humbling when you get to a point where like I've never had my body just complete. I've been tired, I've been sore, but I've never had it to a point where it's like I don't honestly know if I can walk. And yeah,
I've gotten to the point 2 or 3 times where all I did was dry heave the entire time. I couldn't walk anymore. Like my body's like just goes straight into dry heaving.
Yeah.
And that's happened a few times. That actually happened the last trip with Brandy, with my wife as well. That right there, man, that was a rough second day after getting up the top of the hill. It was. I'm pretty keen to pushing myself into exhaustion. I don't know why, but
yeah, I do too. But especially on a multi-day trip, you got to really be mindful of that because you get to camp gas, you don't eat enough calories, and you're just kicking the can down the road. Like your next day is guaranteed to not be good. Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't drink enough water, and I didn't eat enough, and that was the issue. But I was sick the entire time too. I was fighting a cold.
Oh,
I was had like 100 fever the entire. Yeah, I had I don't know what it was, but I think I got severe allergies, and by then it had worked its way into my lungs. Does it every year? Just about every year I get bronchitis from it.
Yeah, I'm lucky that way.
Okay, man.
And maybe your leg cramping was your body's way of telling you to stop lying about it. So here's the backstory between Ben flipping me shit. Defending my girlfriend, talking about all of her issues, and we're having like this like warm and fuzzy conversation, and this asshole has the nerve to come on live. No, he teases me all the time. So we've been here since August, and this is kind of a it's a reflection of like her issues. And I wouldn't call them problems. I would call them like issues maybe, but we've been here since August, and she has yet to meet Mr. Ben McMillan. Wow. And it's kind of one of those like her anxiety compounds.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. I want to know if I wonder if she's real, just because I've never met her. I've never met her in person. I've seen her in videos, I bet
Yeah,
that,
you
that
never
could
know.
be, that's AI generated. Who knows?
Yeah, well, I mean, I won't try to defend myself because nobody can fact check to see if I'm lying or not. But the only AI I've ever used on my videos is on thumbnails, and my girlfriend, of course, who, yeah, she's completely fake. You guys are all right. You heard it here first, folks.
She's gonna get in here and be really pissed in the comments now.
Yeah, yeah, I doubt she's watching. Oh, actually, yeah, she's like a roller derby queen. I went and watched her first bout a few weeks back, and
Oh wow! So she could
it
kick your
scared,
butt.
dude. It was a co-ed thing, and there was this guy. I mean, he wasn't exactly Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he was wearing a kilt. I mean, he was eccentric, obviously. He's a different breed of cat. She laid him out, and I shit you not, that dude, his entire body was in the air. Like, he was vertical. And he landed probably 4 feet away from where she smoked him. I'm like, I am not putting on skates and messing with this bitch. Like, she is a badass. I was super proud. I was kind of like the proud dad, like, holy shit, I didn't know you had this in you. And it was, yeah. So when she's in her element, but the weird thing is like she's kind of friends with all of her teammates and stuff. But the minute the game is over or practice is over, she's Audi 5,000. Like, she's not hanging around for the after party or. And sometimes I'm like, as long as she's happy, why the hell would I judge her for that? Like, you want to be, introverted, and you're happiest when you're in a small group of people you trust.
That's my.
Yeah. I got to stop trying to change who you
that's
are.
my wife. That's my wife.
Yeah.
She don't like going with people. She loves the trips with just me. I mean, I don't mind it one bit. I love it. That's like the trips that me, my daughter, she'd go with me, and we would all three could be able to do a trip together eventually. I don't know. She might get a little angry with the daughter out there sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I get mad at myself just for like not letting people be who they are. I'll always try to give you encouragement if I think you're struggling or you're unhappy, and I love you. I'm gonna, try to help you move in the right direction. But if you're happy, why the hell would I try to change who you are? I spent a lot of my life doing that. Maybe that's why I've had so many broken relationships, but because I'm always trying to fix things. But yeah, she's made me learn that. Like, there's nothing to fix if she's happy. Rich says, hopefully we'll get to meet her when we go see Trampled. I'm crossing my fingers. She's all in. But it might just be, I got to also be like completely prepared for the day of the Rich and Jonathan and my girlfriend and I are going to a concert in July. And I'm perfectly prepared to, her to not feel comfortable with it the day we go. And it might just be the three of us, and if that's the case, so be it. I mean,
perfectly
she
fine.
has no right to say you can't go, and she doesn't. That's part of why, I love her, because she's cool enough to understand that, if it's something she's not cool with, then she's not going to stop me from doing it. So yeah, we'll see, man. If she shows up, that'll be I'll be proud of her to go to an actual concert with strangers, and in this case, thousands of them. Concert is Trampled by Turtles, Jason. They're a bluegrass band from Duluth, Minnesota. And they're pretty amazing.
You can't say bluegrass music. That's not bluegrass. Bluegrass is Kentucky.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, man.
Everybody else is folk music.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and give you that win, because I agree with you. I mean, the roots, you got to go back to where the roots are. But yeah, they're probably more folksy. Have you never heard them, Woodall?
Yeah, I listened to him after Rich. He's like after he told me, I was like, yeah, I listened to him. I like it, man. But I like folk style music. So,
and sometimes they're a little on the sad side. I saw their lead singer in a bar once, and it was like madly depressing. Like, you want to talk about people that you can just like listen to and know that they have some issues. And some of their songs you can tell they do too. But seeing just the lead singer on an acoustic guitar by himself, it was not the greatest concert I've ever been to. It was really sad. But I've seen them twice, like the full band, and they're great. Their fiddle player, badass.
Okay, man. One more question before we start the Would You Rathers.
Alrighty, man.
So campsites. I mean, me personally, I like to be on the water. I mean, I just like it because great sleep. I mean, I like the vistas, but I can see them during the day or early in the morning. But if there's a vista with water, of course, I'm going to choose that. But for you, what are you going to choose? Water or vista?
Yeah, stop asking impossible questions, man. I mean, I do like both. But I think if I'm getting to camp early, I like to have water because I just hate that anxiety of like, do I have to like if I'm thirsty, can I just chug this water, or do I have to conserve it so I have some in the morning? So yeah, but on the flip side of that, I'd go Vista all day long if I walked in with enough water to quench my thirst. Basically, I want the right to be able to, be like, God damn, I'm thirsty. I'm gonna chug 14 liters of water right now. So at the end of the day, probably water. But if you ask me what my most epic campsite is on, I could tell you all top 5 of them are probably not on water.
Yeah, I could probably agree with you there on some of them. I ain't gonna lie, camped on some pretty cool waterfalls, so that's about that's about the only ones that beat the vistas if you can get right on a waterfall.
Yeah, and I haven't done. I can think of one time where I was on a waterfalls in Arkansas, so I haven't had that kind of luck.
Oh man, I got a spot in the gorge.
Make up for a good view.
Let's say I got a spot in the gorge.
Yeah, you got to show me the spots, dude. This summer, especially when we need water.
Let's say you can fit 2 people in there, more on over, but you can fit 2 like real close to the waterfall.
Right on, I'm down. Yeah.
Well, I said one more. I said last one, but I want to know one more. Okay. I know you've made some gear at Hilltop since you started working there, and I'm sure you've taken it out on trail. I want to know which one's your favorite that you've made, and I want to know why it's your favorite.
Well, that's pretty easy, and I should probably be transparent by saying I've made 95% of it, but my pack, Ben had to hold my hand every step of the way. I mean, I did the sewing and stuff, but I had to be like, okay, what's next? What's next? But pretty much made, except for a couple things I didn't trust myself to do, I made almost that whole damn pack. And so, yeah, it's an obvious one for me. I love that thing.
Is that your newest one?
Yeah. And I'm going to make another one sometime this summer.
I like that one.
We're going to try to redo the Dirty 30 or the Outlaw. We might crossbreed them into a hybrid, but we're going to I can't spill too many secrets, but we're going to try to kind of come up with a new
design.
Yeah, it's going to be small tweaks. It might not even be noticeable to the naked eye, but we just want to kind of rejuvenate it and maybe combine those 2 packs into one for less confusion and have more so I'm going to make one of those.
Streamline some stuff.
Yeah, we're playing a lot with EcoPack, and I have this vision of you can actually print, think like a non-colored tattoo, it's just a black outline of a tattoo. You can print stuff like that on it. You can't put any color on gray EcoPack, but I'm thinking I want to make like a gray one with some sort of black pattern on it or something that looks super cool. I don't have an idea quite yet, but that's kind of the start of it. And then, I think we'll probably do some of the new stuff like the zipper pockets, and we might do a minimalist hip belt. What's Rich got?
Rich says he's got a belt. He's got a steel pack for you all tomorrow. He's still got a pack for tomorrow.
I got to do that when I get home tonight too. So we got to stay on target and get out of here so I can go home. And
okay. Let's start here with the would you rather's. They're pretty easy on some of them
because go 3 hours.
Oh, I know we could. You're one of the one of the most interesting individuals that I think I've had the chance to meet so far. And you've got a lot of stories. I know you do, man. And then
right back at you, dude.
But we'll start off with the first one, and I think I know the answer, and it's probably the same answer as what I would say. But would you rather carry a heavy, comfortable pack or a lighter, minimalist style pack?
Lighter, minimalist all day. I get teased a lot for the stuff I don't bring.
You're kind of like me. We're very streamlined in what we have, and
well, you more so than I still can't believe how you can do multi-nights with it 24/7. I can do an overnight with it, but I just can't carry enough food in it.
I can get a weekend, but I'm eating light and I'm eating good that first night. Like I said, the first night I carry my food in, and I'll get something. I'll either bring something like that I brought on the way, like Taco Bell or something like that, and then I'll have my next 2 nights in my food bag and stuff.
Right.
That's kind of how I do it.
Well, still impressive, man. All right, number 2, hit me.
Number 2, man. Would you rather own a bunker in the city or a small cabin in the middle of nowhere? And I think I know the answer to that one too.
I didn't read these. I saw these, but I didn't read them on purpose because I wanted to be surprised. But I'm disappointed in you, Woodall. That's such an easy question, man. No, obviously, cabin in the woods, no doubt. I like the city experience once in a while. Like Pittsburgh, maybe I'll hate it sooner or later, but I've loved going up to Pittsburgh. It's such a cool little city. But I ain't living in no bunker in a city. That's ridiculous. A cabin in the woods would be like, I'm the kind of guy who fantasizes about living in a van down by the river. So a cabin would be an upgrade to my dreams.
I'm the one who fantasized. I mean, yeah, would you lather? And he says, I can't wait for hour 3 of wood. Mickey, you're going to get me banned, Mickey. You're going to get me banned, man.
Yeah. Mickey's one of the biggest characters, larger than life. Gotta love him. All right, number 3. This one better be more challenging. Don't disappoint me at all.
It's not, man. It is. Would you rather have a hammock to yourself or share a tent with a person? Oh, and I already know the answer.
Yeah, I would share a tent with another person all day. I love no.
I was gonna say I know better than that.
And I don't know if they're watching, so just know that I'm saying this lightly. If you're on this stream, but Brian Winburn. To our first Hilltop pack. Or no, it's the Gorge, man. You remember Winburn, his uncle?
Yep.
Super sweet.
They were sleeping in the same tent.
They brought a 2-person tent and shared it to save weight. And I'm not home.
One of them, he's or both of them maybe, but I know one of them snored.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with I'm sure some immature people were
both of them. Yeah, they have multiple people there sawing.
They were nephew and uncle, so it wasn't anything like sexual or weird like that, but. Man, I admire them.
I get a 2-person tent just to have the extra room.
Yeah, I mean, I'll sleep in a 2-person tent with my girlfriend. I've slept in it with my kids, but even my absolute best friend in the world that I would not share. And it cramps my style. I even, I'll share a hotel with somebody. I shared a hotel with Rich.
I've even got my family.
But yeah, I like my.
I even got my family in hammocks now. I got them in hammocks, and
yeah,
I don't think they'll ever go to a tent. My wife. She's like, it's my own space. I mean, she gets in there and it's her own space.
Have you tried hanging, basically think of like a Y, two trees on one end? You tie one hammock.
I've actually done that. I've done that.
Yeah, and then have a big old tarp. That works pretty decent.
Or really close. Yeah, I've done a really big tarp. Eventually, I wouldn't mind having the 2-person setup from Dutch. Not gonna lie, that'd be great. So that and then you can both hang from the same tree.
Oh, it's got like a spreader bar or something?
Yeah, it's got a spreader bar, and then the tarp's the wide 12-foot tarp, I think, so it can fit 2 people underneath of it. It's really, really cool setup. I think he made the setup so that way him and his daughter could back together, and she didn't have to. It just made everything lighter.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I'll do that tonight. And I'm going to see Dutch on Saturday. He's coming to our event, so I'm looking forward to getting to know him better and pick his brain. And then, of course, we're all going to see each other next weekend. So
that's what I was going to say. Yeah. We'll end this here with you. You can tell people where they can find you, and if they want to find him this weekend, you can tell them where they can find you in person.
Well, during the day, I'm a lot lizard at the Pilot, just south of Morgantown, West Virginia. I keep hours of 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. From 11 to noon, there's a 20% discount on all of my services. It's mostly just massages, but I make some money by doing a little extra stuff from time to time. But when I'm not there, I'm either at Hilltop Packs, which you can find on hilltoppacks.com. Please shop with us. We're the small guys. Business is rough in this economy with $4.50 gas. So I promote that far more than I promote myself. If you want to just watch my hobby, I have a backpacking channel called Backpacking with Buckley. So
I'll say Hilltop's where it's at, though. That's the love and passion there. Every person that works there every business that Ben owns, it's like that. Love and passion's there, and you can just see it.
Yeah,
you already know I'm a Hilltop supporter. I've got more Hilltop gear than most other gear. I love especially my organization
I assure
gear.
You, brother, that it's guys like you that we're really proud of the fact that we have a lot of return customers, and it's like a family. Like calling the same customers. I'm not trying to be like super kumbaya here, but it's a family. There's so many people that we actually know, that keep coming back and shopping with us. And I don't care why. I don't care if it's even because they pity us. It's just, we really notice and we really pay attention, and it means a lot to us. And I promise you, we would not be here today if it wasn't for people that keep coming back and just supporting us. So yeah, we thank you and all the people out there like it. So I want to, I want to work here forever, hopefully, especially if Ben starts to listen to some of my ideas that are great. Like Jason Bloom knows the tasseled hip belt pockets with Western tassels on it. Look forward to that in the future. I will talk Ben into it someday.
Favorite tassels?
Yeah, I'll do some prototypes and bring it to Maha if I have time.
Okay, man. I want to get it ended here. I want to thank you for joining me, man, and opening up a lot. I mean, we've talked to each other a lot about our stories and the things that we've faced and what getting out has done for us, and definitely changed the way we see life anymore.
Yeah, I think it's important to let other people know that we're all just freaks deep down inside, and you don't have to be ashamed of it. Just talk about it. It makes everybody feel better. And I thank you for having me on. I mean, you're a great man, Mr. Woodall, and we're gonna hang out a lot in the future.
Man, I thank you for the compliment, but I can only say that I've learned a lot of the stuff from people like you. I've a lot of people that have influenced the way that I think about life and the way that I see things as I've gotten older, and it's just changed it a lot, man.
Well, that's part of the revolution, like we talked about, to circle back to campfires. There's a lot to be said and a lot to be learned from if you just open up and talk and don't be afraid to do it. Backpacking's a good environment for it. So thanks again, brother.
Oh, thank you, man. And
you bet.
Adventurers, I want to thank you all out there in YouTube land for joining us, and Facebook land, if you got on there, thank you. I do stream to both. Mainly YouTube. That's where my main focus is. That's what I like doing. That's where I do mainly everything at. I want to thank all you all out there for joining in, getting the comments going. Mickey, thank you for being Mickey, I guess I could say.
Mickey, thanks for being Mickey.
And guys, I want to end it before we get hour 3 of Wood started here. I want to say good night. We'll see y'all next week. And you adventurers, y'all just keep on adventuring.
Thanks, guys.